Welcome back, students. For the second part of class today, let's see if we can continue our work with percentages. Percentages show up in our lives so often and in so many different ways. Let's see if we can work some practical application problems that apply percents. Before we look at these application problems, let's review a little. We have to be very good at changing decimals into percentages. When the decimal is 0.65, I can change it into a percentage by moving the decimal point 2 spots to the right. 0.65 becomes 65%. 0.02, if I move the decimal point 2 spots to the right, I no longer need the 0. It's just 2%. Now, when you work a practical problem, your calculator might give you a very complicated looking decimal like this. The only parts I look at are these 3 digits. Let's concentrate only on the 0.351. Then move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. And would I call that closer to 35% or 36%? Since this digit here is small, this remains 35. We'll call that 35%. Let's round this one off to the nearest percentage. Look only at these 3 place values. 0.910. Then move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. Should I call that 91% or 92%? Since this place value is very small, we'll leave that as 91%. Rounded to the nearest percentage. Look at just these 3 place values. 0.738. Move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. Should I call that 73% or 74%? If this digit is large, like an 8, then this rounds up to 74%. What's the rule? If this number is 5 or larger, you round up. If this number is 4 or smaller, you leave this alone. Change this into a percentage. Look just at these 3 place values. Then move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. 17% or 18%. Since this digit is large, we'll round that up to 18%. All right, let's try a practical application problem. Here's what I'd like you to do. Pause the video, read this problem all the way through, read it through twice, and then start the video back up and we'll work the problem together. Now, when I work a problem like this, there's a formula that I like to use. It's kind of a homemade formula that says part is percent of total. Each time that I work a percentage problem, I'm going to write that formula down first. Now let's read through the problem carefully. You earned 136 out of 160 points on last week's test. What percent of the points did you earn? Let's fill out the formula. Is equals. Of is times. What percent of the points did you earn? That's what we're looking for, is the percent. Now there's a part and there's a total. Which of those 2 numbers is the total number of points? Well, this test had 160 points on it. That's the total. The part that you got correct, 136. See, if we can fill these into the right spots, what we're left with is an equation, and we're very good at solving equations. To solve this equation, Well, we need to get n by itself, which means the 160 needs to go away. The 160 is being multiplied. The inverse of multiplication is division. So we'll divide by 160. Do that on a calculator. If I type in 136 and divide it by 160, my calculator gives me 0.85. Now that's a decimal. My final answer is to be a percent. So I'll move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. Make that 85%. Let's make sure that makes sense. You earned 136 out of 160 points on a test. 136 out of 160, that's pretty good. In fact, it's 85%. Let's try a second example. Each time I work a percentage problem now, I'm going to write my formula down. Part is percent of total. While you read this problem, see if you can pick out which parts go into which place on the formula. Pause the video, read the problem through, read it through twice, and then start the video back up and we'll work the problem together. All right, let's give this a try. Dale earned $6,700 last month at his job. His employer withheld $335 for state income taxes. What percent was withheld from Dale's paycheck? Let's see if we can fill in the formula. Part is percent of total. I know is equals. Of is times. Look at the question. What percent was withheld? We're looking for the percentage. I need the part and I need the total. Which one of these two numbers is the total of Dale's paychecks? He earned a total of $6,700 last month. The part that was withheld, well, they withheld $335. That was part of his paycheck. To find the percentage that was withheld, now we must just solve this equation. That's why I like this formula, is once we fill it in, then there's no question how to finish the problem. You simply solve the equation. If I want to know what n is, I must get rid of the 6,700. The inverse of multiplication is division. All right, on your calculator, type in 335 first. It's 335 divided by 6,700 equals. My calculator says 0.05. That's a decimal. Let's change it into a percentage. 5%. Let's make sure that makes sense. If you earn $6,700, but your employer withholds $335, your employer withheld 5% of your paycheck. When you do these problems on your own, what you write on your paper is the formula, fill in the formula, and then solve. Show your work just like that. All right, new example. Pause the video. Read this problem through once, read it through twice, go ahead and try it if you like, and then turn the video back on and we'll work it through together. Here we go. Iowa Tech College has 18,496 students. 5,371 of these students are freshmen. What percent of the students are freshmen? Here's my formula. Write that formula down each time you work a percentage problem. Then is equals, of is times, Look at the question. What percent of the students are freshmen? We're looking for the percent. Now I need a number for part and I need a number for total. Which one of those two numbers is the total of the students at Iowa Tech College? Iowa Tech College has 18,496 students. Part of those students are freshmen. What part? Well, 5,371 of them are students. Final question, 5,371 of them are freshmen. Final question, what percent of them are freshmen? Now, if we solve the equation, we'll have the answer. Here we go. Inverse of multiplication is division. We'll divide by 18,496. When I do that on a calculator, type in 5,371 divided by 18,496. My calculator gives me this decimal, 0.29038711. In order to change that into a percentage, I'm only going to look at these three decimal places, 0.290. Now, would I call that closer to 29% or 30%? If I move the decimal point 2 spots to the right, this number is small, that remains 29%. Got it. Let's make sure that makes sense. The question was, if Iowa Tech College has 18,496 students and 5,371 of them are freshmen, what percent are freshmen? 29% of the student body at Iowa Tech College are freshmen. All right, last example. Pause the video, read the problem through twice. Try it on your own if you like. Then turn the video back on and we'll work it together. Here we go. There are 26,509 teachers in the state of Ohio. 16,671 of these teachers are women. What percent of Ohio's teachers are women? Let's try it. It's a percentage problem, so I write my formula down. I know is equals, of is times. What am I looking for? I'm looking for what percent of Ohio's teachers are women. I'm looking for the percentage. I need a number for part and a number for total. Which number is the total number of teachers in Ohio? 26,509 is the total number of teachers in Ohio. Part of those teachers are women. 16,671 of them are women. Now let's solve the equation so that we have the percentage. The inverse of multiplication is division. We'll divide by 26,509. Do that division on your calculator. Type in 16,671 divided by 26,509. My calculator says 0.628880757. I'm going to concentrate on just these three digits. Now, when I move the decimal point 2 spots to the right, am I closer to 62% or 63%? Since this number is large, we'll round that up to 63%. Let's take that back to the problem and make sure that it makes sense. There's 26,509 teachers in Ohio. 16,671 of them are women. That's 63%. Approximately 63% of the teachers in Ohio are women. When you work these problems on your own, show me the equation, show your work, and then any decimals that have lots of a complicated decimal like this, we'll round them off to the nearest 1%. All right, your turn. Go work some homework problems and then meet me back here.